Welcome to Rap in Order, the interrogation of a hip-hop album, where we take some of the culture's most beloved hip-hop albums, put them on the stand, see if they stood the test of time. Now let's see who we got on the stand today. Welcome to another episode of Rap in Order. I'm First Class Regg.
And I'm Taurian B.
Today we're joined by the wonderful, the incomparable FunnyJulius.
Hello.
And today we're going to get into the debut album from A$AP Rocky, otherwise known these days as Rihanna Baby Daddy. And his debut album came out in 2013. We're talking about Long.Live.A AP. Long.Live.A had guest appearances from Action Bronson, Joey Badass, Big Crit, and that's all on one song. You also, throughout the album, you got Schoolboy Q, 2 Chainz, Drake. Bunch of heavy hitters on this. I think at the time, A$AP was really building a name for himself because of his mixtape and his Buzz Was Crazy, which kind of laid out or kind of traveled into the release of this album. This was like a Soho classic.
Yeah.
So I know it was kicked off with Goldie, Fucking Problems followed it, Wild for the Night with Skrillex, and then Fashion Killer, which had the video with Rihanna. Really, really big moments that came from this album. But I'm curious to know what you guys think. Julius, I'm gonna start with you.
Yeah, so this album sucked for me. And it was not that well. We got some good singles and maybe 2 or 3 more tracks for me. If you're like a hype beast and you probably like this album, or if you're a part of A$AP, you definitely love this album. But yeah, this album didn't do it for me. Thank the Lord for the next one. But yeah, this album didn't do it for me.
And what about you, Taurian?
This album was a disappointment because the mixtape before this, Live Love A$AP, was so good, and it had so much. It kind of like gave you it gave us such high expectations for what Rocky was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what happened is that everything happened so fast, right? Rocky got signed, right, to RCA Polo Grounds. And then, he got his situation, and then A$AP Worldwide was a thing, and then Yams had to work on the compilation project for A$AP Mob. Yams wasn't as hands-on with this project as Rocky probably would have liked, and I think that there was just a rush to get this album out, and I think that that's what kind of made everything just not work out for us, for Rocky's album.
I don't know. It's tricky for me because I don't know what people were expecting from Rocky. It's not that I even think that much of him as an MC. I'm entertained by what he does, and I think that with him, he's just really good at piecing shit together. So like, I always feel like when Rocky raps, he has like a big soundboard in front of him, and he just hits shit, and he just presses things. So like, he's very influenced by like the Memphis sound. He loves that. But then
Memphis and Houston.
Yeah, but then also, he's from New York, so you're gonna get that lingo from like, that nostalgic lingo that he leans into, and he kind of mixes it all together, and that's what I like about him because he has a great ear for music. And I think we got more of that with Allah. I think with this album, we kind of got just the preview of what he was working on, and the second album, the budget got bigger. He had fucking Rod Stewart on the second album. So like, we could see what he could do, like his potential. But with this album, it's kind of, it doesn't really hit what it's supposed to do. So like, for me, it's super nostalgic. I have a nostalgic love for it because at this time, I had all these friends that, that I just made working at Levi's. And this time frame was like really pivotal because in my life, and then also like, we worked in Soho, so it was like you couldn't escape hearing shit like this, like Wild for the Night with Skrillex, like that was big. Like hearing Fucking Problems When You Go Out or One Train, like it was just like so many big moments on this album. Pussy Money Weed, but what are your takeaways overall? Like, so when we revisited it and you take away the nostalgic aspect of it, are there still some tracks that hold strong? So like
Goldie.
I was gonna say the debut single.
Goldie. Obviously, Goldie, One Train. And you know what? The Fashion Killer video is something that's memorable to me. Like, I didn't care for Fashion Killer until I saw the video.
Mm-hmm.
So like that one, and then you know what, Phoenix. Mm-hmm. Phoenix is a significant song because it just has a lot to do with reincarnation and feeling like dying and one it's not sure if you want to die or if you do die, do you come back as something else, you rise from the ashes. Mm-hmm. So there's a whole metaphoric kind of background to that song. So I kind of like that one.
And what about which one's for you?
So yeah, basically the singles Goldie, Effing Problems, and One Train's not a single, correct?
No, it wasn't a single.
Big song. Okay, it's a big song. So I'll take One Train, Fashion Killer, definitely LVL, Pussy Money Weed, Level, and I want to say that's it. And yeah, that's my take from the album. I like those songs.
Yeah, but even those big moments, right? Like we named some big ones on here, and so for example, I think this album kind of lives in a different space because you have talkative points on here where like One Train, people will say, yo, who had the best verse on One Train?
They still do to this day.
Yeah.
I think we know who had the best verse, right?
A lot of hip hop heads, the backpack rappers, the backpack fans, they literally go back and forth.
No, they don't. It's Big Crit.
No, a lot of people would say Kendrick, and a lot of people would say Action Bronson.
I think those people say Action
Bronson,
and then you have Joey Badass
and Danny Brown.
That's from what I hear. Yeah. Those four people.
I hear Danny Brown and I hear Bronson, but I never hear anybody say. I never hear anybody say Kendrick had the best verse on one.
I've heard, maybe if I'm a Kendrick stan, because but yeah, I've definitely heard many people.
Crit.
I do say Crit, but sometimes I want to say either Action or either Joey.
Mm-hmm. I just think that it was dope that Rocky Rocky picked his incoming class. Like he picked his freshman class of rappers and said, "Yo, I want y'all on this record with me." And he didn't tell. I heard a lot of them have told their own versions, and Crit said that nobody heard anybody's versions, but they basically were told yo, you have this amount of you have this many bars, and Crit went over on purpose because he was like, yo, who I'm
him at the end.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Crit did that on purpose, and he kind of knew that he had the best verse. But I just genuinely think that when Rocky did that, he just knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, that's one. Man, I wish we can get another One Train-esque track in hip hop right now, especially from some people in Atlanta. I would really love in Atlanta. Can I call it an Atlanta Posse track?
Atlanta Posse cut?
Yeah, I want an Atlanta Posse cut where it's not too many, but
who's on that?
I want 21 Savage on there because he is the leading man for Atlanta.
Just say the names.
Mm-hmm. Oh, excuse me, sorry. My bad. 21 Savage, Migos, Jid, the two guys, Earth Gang, and I would definitely put a what was the female rapper? We just talking about her. Lotto on there, and Baby Tate.
Okay.
I like Baby Tate.
I like Baby Tate a lot. Is Lotto's from Atlanta? Lotto's not from Atlanta.
Well, she is in No, she's not.
She's not from Atlanta.
Oops, I am so sorry.
She's a Proctor.
Okay, yeah, just some put some Young Nudie on there, and then maybe
fire. Okay,
Young Nudie would be fire on there.
All right, let's go.
Where we leave off?
Okay, somebody tell me what the fuck is going on.
That was funny. So, crazy. You know what? I want to talk about the song with Santa Gold. What is that? Hell? Mm-hmm. Okay, so number one, what the fuck happened to Santa Gold? Where's she at?
Well, she dropped a project a few months ago. I think, but
really?
Yeah, she did. She did. But I think, when you ask that question, I kind of think about just her level of stardom because I feel like Santi Gold was like up there with what's the other girl name that nobody likes?
MIA.
The Paper Planes.
MIA.
Yeah, MIA. MIA. It was MIA and Santi Gold.
At the same time, by the way.
At the same time. And both being sampled respectively from the top tier MCs.
Yes.
At the same time.
Jay-Z and Jim Jones.
Jay-Z, Brooklyn We Go Hard.
Yep.
Sampled was it Santi Gold?
Yeah, Santi Gold.
And then Swagger Like Us, MIA.
Oh, sorry.
So,
I don't remember the Jay-Z.
Yeah, so like, I don't know what happened. Maybe like it was life shit. I'm not sure. But what did you think of this song?
I just wanted to know what the fuck happened to Santi Gold. Like, I liked it. It was refreshing that oh shit, I forgot about her. Mm-hmm. But like, it didn't really impact me or anything like that. Another thing about this project that was like it. All right. So this is what let me know before this project, right? I was like, yo, Rocky could be like, because Rocky has confidence that if you could bottle it and sell it, like it would sell out every single time.
He has the confidence of a wrestler.
Yeah, he does, right?
Like talking shit like a wrestler.
So I was very convinced that like Rocky was actually going to be one of like the top MCs. And what I learned is that Rocky is a curator of anything that's cool. Mm-hmm. He's not like, even though he can rap, he's more so a curator of a vibe. He's more so a curator of telling you what's cool to wear, where to go, where to eat. Like he's basically a walking TikTok know-how video.
Yeah.
And
he sells cool.
Yeah, he sells cool. So when I listened to this project, like it made me like reference. So like I remember one time me and Regg had an argument. Like Regg is a big Sean fan. I was like saying like, yo, Rocky has a better flow because when you hear Rocky rap, he raps like he's the best man, like nigga in the world. Right? So Regg was like, yo, you gonna regret that. You gonna regret saying that to me. Like Regg took it really personally. He was like, you gonna regret saying that like down the road. And I was like, all right. I was like, but Big Sean just don't sound as confident to me, right? But obviously Big Sean has a better flow, like, right? And I have no problem. That's another thing, ladies and gentlemen. I have no problem admitting my faults and saying that I was wrong. I was wrong. So with that being said, I just think that what I've realized is that Rocky just understands what's cool and what you need to do. Like he's very ahead of the curve. And with music, it's all about like being able to like make a playlist. And this album, even though it doesn't sound cohesive, that's what he did because all of like the producers and the production that he used on the sounds that he used were what people were doing on other projects anyway. Mm-hmm. Like or the artists that he worked with were like next up, like you know what I'm saying, like them, like Drake chopping up 2 Chainz, like mind you, 2 Chainz had like the most features the year prior to that, and then they just chopped up his verse and just made it the hook. Mm-hmm. You know, 2 Chainz didn't like it, but it still worked. Like it was something that was just like smart. Like yo, like basically everybody was used to hearing his voice and hearing 2 Chainz on the track. All right, cool. Like you know what, we're gonna trick the fans. They're gonna hear 2 Chainz' voice and think he's on it, but he's just doing a hook, and it's gonna be me, Kendrick Lamar, and Drake. Still the biggest,
insane.
Like right, like think about that formula, and like for him to do that.
Yeah, and think about where all of these artists were in 2013. Mm-hmm. Top of 2013. So you had Drake. That was this the same year as Nothing Was the Same? Nothing Was the Same came later this year of 2013.
Possibly, yeah, it did.
And then you had Kendrick coming off his debut.
Yes.
In 2012. Being the hottest thing out. Mm-hmm. Then you had 2 Chainz coming off the year that he had.
Yep.
And you had ASAP establishing himself.
Yep.
So it was a really big track. Who got chewed up on this? Who you think had the best verse?
I would want to
on Fucking Problems.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with Drake.
No, I honestly.
I'll say Drake. I'll say Drake.
It's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, Drake has.
I think Kendrick has one singleable part. The girl, I know
you want that dick.
Yeah, that's like his part.
Yeah, I think that's the most memorable part.
But Drake's whole verse.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Drake
love it when this beat is on. Like,
yeah,
it's just
Drake understands. Drake understands assignments on certain shit.
And he's done that to Kendrick twice.
Yeah.
I still will go out on a limb and say that the best part of this song is 2 Chainz.
I knew you was gonna fucking do that. I knew you was gonna do that.
Because
you love being Switzerland.
I do, because he gave us something we did not expect, because we expected 2 Chainz to be on the song, but then when he gave us just a hook,
and it's a hook, and it's catchy, and it's relatable,
and I don't think anybody else could have hopped on that song and did it justice how he did. So I want to say, 2 Chainz was the best part of the song.
Okay. So why do you guys, coming off of Fucking Problems, which is produced by 40, why do you guys think that he doesn't come up in producer conversations?
Because he exclusively works with Drake. Drake has him like in a dungeon making beats for him. Okay. He has a nicer room than Party Next Door though.
So my only question to that is, you don't think it still counts for anything because Drake has been out since 2008?
I think because, well, this is the thing. They call it the OVO sound, right? Mm-hmm. And what happened with that is that, yeah, that's a great thing, but it's like Drake is the face of the OVO sound and not 40. And I think that's the thing that kind of, like, I don't think 40 cares for the recognition, mm-hmm. but what happened is that the face of the OVO sound is Drake. Mm-hmm. And it's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why The Weeknd like got out of his clutches. Mm.
Okay.
The Weeknd didn't want to be in the OVO sweatshop.
Now, what were you gonna share?
40 is one of the greatest producers ever for me. Mm-hmm. Not just with Drake. I've heard him on like Drake lists.
I don't know about before.
That. No, I've heard him on Drake lists.
I think it's more of a collaborative thing. Like I guess it's hard for me to like give him that credit because it's like when you only work with one artist, right? Mm-hmm. The thing that happens is that like you don't know. It's like what came first, the chicken or the egg. Mm-hmm. So you don't know. You can't really tell. Like, all right, like how is this? You know what I'm saying? Like how is like what is this person doing? Like so like that's why like the reason why Dr. Dre is considered so prolific is because like originally he exclusively made beats only for, at first it was Ruthless artists and then went to Death Row artists. But then when he started working with other artists, we was like, oh shit, he can get a pocket with anybody, right? Mm-hmm. So like with 40, typically if we had somebody else on the song, it's like it was a Drake song or Drake gave the song to somebody. Like he doesn't lend it out. And I'm not saying that he needs to. But the fact that like he doesn't kind of makes me feel like,
Okay, I can understand that, and I will, for argument's sake, I will say, what would we want more?
I don't want anything from him. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you what I think.
Not more from him, but what would you choose? A producer that can give 5 artists just 1 album, or a producer that can give 1 artist 5 albums?
Oh, I didn't know he produced Bye Baby for Nas. Interesting.
So would you rather a producer work with 5 different people for 1 album?
I get what Taurian's saying.
Or 1 artist for 5 albums. What would you rather?
I don't know, Julius. I don't know.
I'm saying it's a valid question.
But no, I get it because I like seeing the range of producers. I like seeing their range. So like obviously, I think 40 working with Drake is a cheat code. They get each other so much that it's not necessarily an artistic risk for 40 as a producer to work with Drake because they understand each other. So like, I don't know who else. I mean, at this point, Nas and Hit Boy.
I was literally about to bring them up because like we see what we see what Hit Boy brought to Nas's table, and we see what like the second half of Nas's rap career, how
Nas needed that though. Mm-hmm. Nas needed that.
And we've seen how it has championed it to him. Now imagine if Hit Boy just gave him that just 1 album. I don't think Nas would be where he is right now.
I think he would be. He's Nas, but I'm just saying that I think that like Nas needed that joke, and I think that eventually down the line, I want to hear Drake do a project without 40 at all. Like obviously 40's gonna be involved somehow, but I want to hear. I would like Nas to like go in the studio with just Blaze, and just do a project.
That would be crazy.
Or like he just like work with like multiple producers like they mainly do. Like obviously 40's gonna be in there somewhere just because like that's Drake's comfort zone.
I do love that the singular sound of producers is coming back where like, Hove did 444 with No ID,
Yeah.
and Hit Boy's working with Nas, and I
21
like
in
that
Metro.
because it's focus. Yeah, 21 and Metro is another cheat code. They understand each other
Oh
so
man,
well.
that's I don't even. It has to be another word for what the fuck 21 and Metro is, bro. It's not even a cheat code, bro.
Their chemistry is nuts.
Yeah.
And I think that's like what you said, like the singular producer sound. And that's why, I will always champion 40 because like you have the formula if it in music, if it's not broke, it don't fix it. Like just keep going until something, ends it.
Yeah.
And for Drake, we've seen his run from literally the beginning to present day, and he has not stopped. He may have, it's arguably to say, you can argue to say, oh, he hasn't given us like that album yet, but he has given us those songs. So that's why I say, like,
but
we should champion 40.
He leans into that. He kind of defines that in a sense. But
I was going to say, let's pivot.
Bringing it back around to Rocky.
That's
who do you think? You said you had a question?
Yeah, I had a question. So, do you guys think that that Rocky is incapable of making like a critically acclaimed project?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he's incapable. I'm actually, funny enough that we bring up Metro, because supposedly he's supposed to be working with Metro for his next album.
Oh yeah, he won Reggie's heart.
So you know what I mean? So I'm curious to see what that sounds like.
He won Reggie over.
He
had Reggie at Metro.
I'm trying to I want to say yes. I'm trying to say yes, but he hasn't given me enough evidence to give me a yes, to sway me. He hasn't. The evidence.
You didn't like Rocky on the new Metro album?
I didn't hear the Metro album.
Okay, you didn't hear the new one. Okay.
So that's me. Shame on me. But he hasn't given me enough evidence for me to say yes. Okay. And the evidence is his 3 albums. Correct, 3 albums.
3 albums, many features.
And in those, even those features, like the evidence isn't even strong enough to present a case for that. I would definitely say he has enough. I don't know. I'm mixed.
All right, cool.
So how do you guys rank when it comes to Rocky and Ferg? How do you see them? Because obviously Rocky is the star, right? But who makes the better albums? Who makes the better songs?
Ferg makes better albums.
Taurian, that's my answer.
Ferg makes better albums. I think Ferg makes a more concentrated effort with his projects, and I think that Rocky is always ahead of shit, and he knows about shit. But I think that when he puts it out on the album, it's setting the tone. But it's like yo, bro, you switching up the set, you switch it up too quick. It'll be like this one, Wild for the Night. Comes on right after. Wait a second.
Problems.
Wild for the Night is stuck between Fucking Problems and One Train. You get the sequencing of the project. You know what I'm saying? It's yo, what? It kind of takes you on a different ride. I'm not those 3 songs are all 3 good songs, but that sequencing doesn't make sense. And I think that's one thing that somebody like Yams made a huge difference in, and we can see that difference because look, Long.Live.A and Allah, right? Yams was heavily involved in. Long.Live.A it's reported that Yams was around, but it wasn't how it was needed to be. The label kind of helped Rocky a lot, and you could see the difference. And then we got Testing, and with Testing, he just was experimenting with a bunch of different sounds. You could tell he was overseas, and he was just fucking with a lot of the sounds that he heard in other countries, and was just trying to present that to people, which is cool. But it sometimes you're too far ahead for people to even catch where you're at.
Right.
Wrong countries, my brother. You visited the wrong countries and the wrong cities.
Well, I've always, like I said, I've always respected Rocky's ear for music. I just want to see how it bleeds into this new shit. He has a lot going on in his life now. I want to see what else he can pull out of these producers. I don't know if Metro's gonna do his whole album.
He should.
Yes.
But
Might as well.
Yeah.
Him or Meg's producer, Juju on the beat,
yeah,
or something
Juju on the beat.
like him. If they can work together, I believe that would be extremely
Juju on
great.
the beat and Rocky?
Absolutely. No,
I don't know.
I forget his name, but yeah, you got to remember, Juju on the beat has that southern sound.
Yeah, but it's too
but
fast.
it's the Texas. No. You've heard Rocky rap fast, but he can slow it down though.
Yeah, but do you hear how Meg comes on beats and then you hear like that production? It's not.
No.
Fare well
See, no. Forget about Megan's flow. You gotta listen to it. Megan's flow is like you can slow it down.
Mm-hmm.
You can slow it down with Rocky's flow on let's say for like Freak Like Me. Rocky can rap on Freak Like Me beat.
Okay.
I can hear him rap on it slow. His jiggy flow, like okay, yes, but I feel like him and Metro and him pairing, they're going to do good because when we first heard Rocky, we heard that somewhat southern style and that trill style.
But did we learn anything from this album from Rocky? Like as far as like him as a rapper, like how do you see Rocky? Do you see him as an MC
on this album?
Period.
Oh, period.
I can tell you that on Ghetto Symphony, he let Ferg and Gunplay outshine the fuck out of him.
They chewed him up on that.
And you know that this song originally was a Shine and Pusha T song.
Ah, that beat.
It was called Maya Lansky.
Shine and Pusha T.
Yeah, it was a song called Maya Lansky.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
That's hard.
How we see Rocky, how I see Rocky right now is as just bless you, like what do they call it? A postulate or
bless you. Damn, you got the sneezes. I've never heard you sneeze before, Regg, but shit, that was
Is that the record we caught on camera?
Shit.
Right. Yeah.
That's the most I've sneezed in one sitting.
Yeah. Okay, you okay, man? Because you going through it right now?
I'm good.
All right.
That was different. I've never heard Regg sneeze before, so that was different.
So I see Rocky as a socialite.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool.
Yeah, that's a socialite, and I'm sorry, but Rihanna's baby daddy.
Mm-hmm. I don't see him as Rihanna's baby daddy. I see him as Rakim Myers, aka ASAP Rocky.
You grew up with him?
I didn't grow up with him, but no, I'm just saying. Like,
because you knew his government. Like, god damn.
I mean, his government is part of his story because he always tells a story about how he got his first name.
Yeah,
interesting.
He's named after the rapper Rakim, and his sister's name is Erica.
That's fine. I didn't know that.
Even him telling the story about how he met Rakim and him fanning.
Oh wow! Yeah, I would have fanned out too. Yeah. That's Rakim. That's God.
So there you go.
But yeah, so I'm curious to hear you guys' ratings. Julius, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, I'll probably give it 1.5 out of 5.
Wow.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I'm not mad at it. I give this album a 2.5 waffles out of 5.
I'm actually comfortable with a 2.5 too, because I think I got some good moments on this album, and I don't need to experience the whole thing for those moments.
Exactly, I agree.
Fucking Problems is amazing still. One Train is really good. Goldie, every now and then, I get that feel for that. Pussy Money Weed is good. So, like, he got some big joints on here.
Okay.
And One Train, of course. But yeah, that's it. I'm comfortable with that. I want you guys to check it out. Let us know your rating. Like, subscribe, of course. Leave your comments. I'm First Class Regg.
And I'm Taurian B.
And this is FunnyJulius.
We'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.
These are their stories.
Dun dun.